In the small town of Weatherford, Texas, lived the Kehlar family, Craig, Karen, and their 3 children. From the outside, they appeared to have it all: a beautiful home, successful careers, and a picture-perfect life. Craig Kehlar, born in 1963, was a bright and hard-working man. He met Karen White in the 1980s while they were students at a Texas university. Craig was finishing his engineering degree, and Karen, a freshman, was drawn to his ambition and determination. The two quickly became close, and it wasn't long before they fell in love. After graduating, Craig and Karen married in a small ceremony with close friends and family. They had their first daughter, Emily, in 1991, followed by Lauren in 1993. The family lived a modest life in Weatherford, and despite their success, they were down to earth and well-liked by their community. Craig worked hard in his engineering career, and Karen stayed home to care for their growing children. In 1999, the family's life took a big turn when Craig was offered a job as the utility director for Weatherford, a position that was not only well-paying, but also highly respected. With this new job, the Kehlars moved into a larger home in a prestigious part of town, and soon after, their 3rd child, Sean, was born. The family was doing better than ever, and their future looked bright. By this time, the Kehlars were living the life many people dream of. Emily excelled in school and earned a scholarship to a top pharmacy college. Lauren, a talented musician, had hopes of going to a conservatory. Sean, their youngest, was a curious and friendly boy who loved learning about archaeology. He was very close to his parents and sisters. Karen was known for her kindness in the community. She often baked treats for neighbors and helped organize local events. Craig's job continued to thrive, and they seemed like the perfect family, well-liked, successful, and involved in everything around them. But despite all of this, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. In 2007, Karen told her younger sister, Lynn, that she was close to a breakdown. She explained that her husband, Craig, had been controlling her for years, and it was getting worse. Craig insisted on knowing where every penny went. He wanted Karen to show him receipts for everything, not just big purchases, but even the small things, like groceries. Karen had to report where she was every day, while Craig was at work. The whole family followed a strict schedule set by Craig. When he came home from work, his wife and kids had to be there waiting for him. They ate, went to bed, and woke up at certain times. Even their private moments were planned out. Over time, Craig became even more controlling. Karen's every action was scheduled, and she felt like she had no time for herself, just endless tasks and responsibilities. She tried to do everything Craig asked, hoping things would go back to normal, but Craig seemed to enjoy the control and wasn't willing to change. Lynn was shocked by Karen's story. Like everyone else, she had always seen Craig as the perfect husband and father. It was hard for her to believe that he was actually a controlling tyrant at home. But Karen didn't want to break up the family. She knew she and the kids depended on Craig for money. Karen was looking for something she could do on her own, something Craig couldn't control. She decided to join a local gym, going during the kids' school hours while Craig was at work. Karen quickly got into fitness and, after a while, became a fitness instructor. It was a new career for her, but she was excited about it. When Craig found out, Karen thought he would be angry and stop her from going. But surprisingly, he didn't. He was calm and even seemed happy that she found something for herself. He just had one condition. She had to be home on time to take care of the kids, cook meals, and follow their set routine. Karen agreed because now she had some freedom and could make her own money without having to explain every purchase to Craig. At the gym, Karen met Sonny Reese, a new personal trainer. They became close friends and spent a lot of time together, talking and getting to know each other. Over time, their friendship turned into something more. Karen and Sonny started an affair. They kept it a secret at first, but eventually, Karen decided she had to tell Craig. When Karen told Craig about the affair, she expected him to be angry, but he was calm. He didn't make a scene. The next day, Craig told Karen he was okay with her relationship with Sonny, but only if he could join them. He wanted to add excitement to their marriage and make things more interesting. Craig started sending Sunny flowers and small gifts, trying to bring her into their relationship. Karen and Sunny didn't want Craig to be part of their relationship. They wanted to be together, just the two of them. Craig got upset, feeling rejected, and told Karen to end the affair. But Karen refused. She was in love with Sunny and wasn't ready to stay in a marriage that felt controlling. After months of arguments, Craig decided to move the family to another state, hoping it would end the affair and fix things. He found a new job as the water director for a company in Columbia, Missouri, a city near Kansas. In June 2008, the family moved, with Craig believing that starting fresh in a new place would bring everything back to normal. After moving to Columbia, Missouri, Craig hoped the distance would end Karen and Sunny's affair, but it didn't. Karen and Sunny continued to communicate regularly through calls, texts, and secret meetings. Their relationship was now long distance, and Karen's marriage with Craig was falling apart. On New Year's Eve 2008, the Kehlar family went back to Weatherford to visit friends and family. Sunny was also at the party. At first, Karen and Sunny kept their relationship quiet, but as the night went on and they had a few drinks, they couldn't hide it anymore. They held hands, exchanged looks, and some guests saw them kissing. Craig was furious. He felt embarrassed, and what had been a secret was now out in the open for everyone to see. Craig dragged Karen out of the party, and on the way home, he lost control. He grabbed her, shook her so hard her dress ripped, then slapped her, causing her to fall and hit her head on the ground. The situation quickly spiraled out of control. A few days later, Karen told Craig she was filing for divorce. She moved into the spare room, started the divorce process, and told Craig she wanted to end their marriage. Craig, desperate to save his family, tried calling Karen's family and friends, begging them to convince her to stay. Some days, he claimed she was leaving him for another woman, and other times he accused her of trying to take his money and the children. Things kept getting worse. In early 2009, after another argument, Craig became physical with Karen. He grabbed her so violently that she had bruises. Karen reported the incident to the police, and Craig was arrested. He claimed he had only hugged her tightly to calm her down, but Karen said he had attacked her. After the arrest, Karen didn't wait for the official divorce. She took the kids and moved out. By then, Karen was firm in her decision to leave Craig for Sunny, and there was no turning back. After Karen left Craig, it was a huge blow to him. But what hurt him even more was when he found out his daughters, Emily and Lauren, were supporting their mother. They said they had never seen Karen this happy before. Craig felt betrayed by his daughters and refused to speak to them. He only called his son, Sean, and spent weekends with him while ignoring the girls. Even though they were getting divorced, Craig still hoped Karen would come back to him. He became jealous, tried to control her, and followed her everywhere. He even tried to secretly install a camera in her house. To stalk her, Craig stopped going to work. First, he took vacation time, then said he was sick, and eventually just stopped showing up to work without explanation. This behavior got him fired. After losing his job, Craig moved back in with his parents because he could no longer afford his own place. Now, with all his free time, Craig spent it stalking Karen. She eventually had to take him to court to stop him from getting too close to her. In November 2009, just before Thanksgiving, Karen took her children to visit her 89-year-old grandmother, Dorothy White, in Burlingame, Kansas. She filed charges against Craig for stalking her, and she and the children moved out for good. This made Craig even angrier and out of control. He stopped talking to Lauren and Emily and only wanted to see Sean. He thought his daughters had betrayed him by siding with Karen. He called them rotting corpses for accepting Sunny and supporting Karen. Craig started stalking Karen even more. He broke into her house to set up cameras and hacked into her emails. The police were called when Karen found that Craig had slashed her car tires and damaged the cables outside her house. On November 29, 2009, despite ongoing arguments about the affair, divorce, custody, and finances, Karen remained hopeful things would soon be resolved. Craig was days away from a court hearing for a previous incident, and their divorce hearing was set for January. Everyone hoped for a more peaceful resolution after the holidays. That evening, around 6 p.m., the Burlingame police received a call about a suspicious van and gunshots. Neighbors reported seeing a man arrive in a small truck, enter Dorothy's house, and then hear screams and gunshots. The man quickly left and drove off, and the neighbors, fearing he was armed, didn't try to stop him. When the police arrived at Dorothy White's house, they found a 10-year-old boy, Sean Kehlar, calling for help. He couldn't explain exactly what had happened, but it was clear that something horrible had occurred. Inside the house, police found 89-year-old Dorothy White lying near the front door in a pool of blood. She had been shot twice, but was still alive, though badly injured. In the kitchen, they found 44-year-old Karen Kehlar's body. She had been shot in the chest and then killed with a close-range shot to the head. There was no chance of survival. In the living room, police found 18-year-old Emily Kehlar's body. She had been shot twice at point-blank range and was likely trying to hide from her father when he caught up with her. Tragically, she did not survive. On the second floor, police found Lauren, the younger daughter, barely alive in a bedroom, bleeding heavily. She repeatedly said her father had done this to her. Sadly, Lauren died from her injuries shortly after arriving at the hospital. Dorothy, even though she is still alive, was in much critical condition and fighting for her life, but it was clear she wouldn't survive either. There was one person still left at the scene, Sean. He told police that he and Karen had been cleaning some old coins at the sink when Craig entered the house through the back door holding a rifle. He shot at Karen, and the violence began. After hearing the gunshots, Sean quickly ducked down and ran as fast as he could through the back door. He then ran around to the front, hoping to get back inside and grab his mother's phone. When he cautiously opened the door, he heard more gunshots. He saw Craig walking around, so he quickly shut the door and ran to find help. The police had issued an alert for Craig when a local resident reported seeing someone abandon a car and run down a deserted road. The car matched the description given by neighbors earlier that evening. When they searched the car, they found more ammunition, unopened anxiety medication, and a backpack with soap, towels, toilet paper, cotton balls, and canned food. But Craig was not in the car. At around 7 a.m., Craig Kehlar was found walking on the side of the road, looking confused and disheveled. He knew the police were after him and said, "I'm the guy you're looking for." Craig told officers he was carrying a revolver and pocket knives. The police found cash, gloves, a flashlight, and a hunting bag on him. He was arrested without resistance and taken to the station. Craig was charged with first-degree murder and aggravated burglary. His bail was set at $10 million. Sadly, Dorothy White died from her injuries on December 1st at 4 p.m. In December 2010, Craig's preliminary trial began. He pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, claiming Karen's affair, losing his job, and moving in with his parents led to a mental breakdown. His lawyers pointed to his strange behavior, unopened medication in his car, and the fact he didn't cover up the crime as signs he wasn't in a normal state of mind. In 1995, Kansas passed a law limiting the insanity defense, stating that mental health issues didn't excuse a crime unless the person couldn't plan or intend it. Craig's defense argued he couldn't plan the murders due to severe mental health issues, including depression, hallucinations, and multiple personality disorders, claiming it was a snap decision. In August 2011, Craig Kehlar was found guilty of all charges and sentenced to death. At the final hearing, 12-year-old Sean spoke. He said he didn't want his father to die because Craig was the only close family member he had left. Even though Craig and his lawyers appealed many times, the death sentence stayed. Craig is still in prison and is trying to have his case reviewed and the sentence changed. After the tragic deaths of his mother and sisters, Sean went to live with his grandmother. Now an adult, he has completed his education and chosen to stay in Kansas to work. Meanwhile, Lynn and Sonny began organizing runs in Weatherford to honor Karen and raise funds for domestic violence victims. The community frequently comes together to remember the family and the lives lost that fateful night. Thank you for watching our channel, where we uncover the most intriguing and real-life crime stories. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to never miss an update. Stay tuned for more gripping cases coming your way. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.